All right, so I'm going to show you how to add a header to your WordPress site and maybe do a few other customizations. The header should represent what the theme of your site is. So if you're doing a site that's on technology / one tool, well then it should look techie-like. And for the grade 11s, I really expect a lot more from the header. In other words, I don't just want one box with like, let's say you did Adobe Photoshop and the word Photoshop. That's like 2 minus on a rubric. So it should have, you know, Photoshop, some images, some lines, maybe some graphic. It should look like you spent a little bit of time working on this header. A header, and this is what you need to understand about a header. When somebody gets to your website, the first thing they're going to look at it is the graphics. And if it's graphically appealing, they'll actually spend time on it. I've seen websites out there that have all the information in the world, but I know that their bounce rate, and their bounce rate is, what that means is when somebody gets to your website, looks at it, all right, looks like this is not interesting, they just go away. So your bounce rate will improve a lot, okay, whenever people get to your website and see that it's graphically pleasing. Now, we haven't gotten into this with a grade 11 course, but next year I'll show you how to set up Google Analytics, and we're actually going to set up more advanced WordPress website, and you'll be able to track true tracking. Because one of the things I know some of you have been doing with your blogger is looking at this tracking. The problem is you don't really get a lot of useful information in there. And a lot of that is actually bots, meaning it's not real people, and you have no way to know the difference. Okay? So one of the things you need to do is go to your WordPress site. I've logged into this one. I have a couple. And I'm going to go to my dashboard. And here's something I want to kind of repeat. A lot of you haven't noticed this, but whenever you set up your WordPress site the first time, it gives you all this basic stuff on how to create your post and so on. But I want you to learn how to do it from this graphic interface, okay? So you go over here, add new post. That's like a blog post, just like you did in your blog. We talked about this. Pages is totally more advanced, and these are static. And one of the things I did, I'm going to just click here just to show you something I told you the other day, and some of you got it, and others. It's very important that you take off show the pages at the bottom. I don't know if it's set up on the, show the comments. You do not want to have comments on pages. It's just silly. So I think in this theme, it takes them out. But in some themes, you'll always have comments. You make sure you uncheck comments. So how do I customize my appearance? So you've already selected a theme. And one thing I need to sort of explain to you is that depending on the theme that you took, it might look differently. And the type of theme I told you I wanted you guys to have was a theme where the menu was at the top or on the side and obvious. So let's just go see this one here quickly. You see how this is up here? These are my 2 pages. So I told you guys I wanted your pages to be at the top or on the side. So if you have a theme that's not like that, you need to change your theme. I'm going to go back. So this one's okay. I'm happy with that because that's how customizable WordPress really is. So now I'm going to add the header. And you all need to check this as well. The theme that you pick, does it allow me to change the header? I'll click, this one does. This is currently what it looks like. Now you're going to have to create your header. And one of the things, I put this in the document. The standard header is 250 inches in height, 950 or 1,000 in width. And the thing is, in your WordPress theme, it might be differently. It might be different, I mean. And what I've done is in Chrome Web Store, there's an app called Page Ruler. And you can click over here to go and grab it. And what it allows you to do is go to your WordPress site and measure it. I'm going to just do a quick demo. So I'm going to go to my WordPress site. Now this is not actually a header, it's just the default. So I'm going to click on Page Ruler. And then I'm going to drag on the page. And let's say my header, well, where's the width? 200. That's definitely not good enough. So how long is it? And you can even draw it like this. 800. So this one I couldn't actually make it any wider than 800. So that's pretty important. Like for the grade 10s, they don't need to worry so much about this, but I'm trying to teach you guys the real techniques. So you need to make sure your dimensions are okay. It's always nicer if you can get a wider header. It looks much more graphically pleasing. So I'm going to say, what is that? It's kind of hard to see on the projector. Is that 900 by 235 or something?
296.
296. So 900 by 300. Okay, I didn't actually create my header, but what I'm doing today is showing you guys how to add it. I'm going to click back. Once I have my header created and it's in a JPEG format, there's another format that we could use with Illustrator that we haven't gotten to this year. And you go get your header, and I'm going to just go grab something and see if it allows me to crop it, just for fun. I'm going to go down. Space, no, not that one. There was one with a digital planet. I'll see what happens. I'm going to see if it'll, then you have to click upload. Okay, it's a little slow because it's a big image. It might allow me to crop it, and it does. That's great. So I don't know. Now you know what the problem with this picture is. It's just a picture. I didn't put my wording in. I'm going to add it anyways because it's not a blog I ever really use anymore. Just so you can see the difference. Wow, I got to take that text out. Or I'm going to customize the header image or the text for the. I'm going to do that later. Okay, that obviously does not look good, and I would have to cut. And that's the thing with WordPress. There's just a lot more involved. One of the things too is your background, and I put this as my background. We'll go to it, and you'll notice the background image is this. See, this does not look good. It's not really appealing, and I will work on this. I can resize this, and that's part of the problem with WordPress is it requires you to be a little more knowledgeable than average. But here's the strength in it. It can be very customizable. The problem with a Tumblr theme or a Blogger theme is that it's a theme that thousands of other people have already done. It's not customizable. Nobody will ever hire you to do a Tumblr theme for them just because they can make it themselves. And if you have a professional website, you're better off. And by the way, Tumblr is awesome, and WordPress is, and the next version is making WordPress work a little more like Tumblr, so that people who are used to the beginner stuff in Tumblr can move along to WordPress a lot more easily. Anyways, and that's it for that. So you do need to customize your header, and I am going to actually go and play around with this theme and just fix this after this video. But the bottom line is, looks so much better. And